I'm just trying to use some tags back today. So if you open up this compare tool and you lost a tag somewhere, you think you have the right file, what I would suggest you do is you browse here, find the file that you think you have that's close, and then be connected to the processor and upload the project. That'll take it right from the processor's image. It'll compare it and you'll be able to see how close that file actually is. So give me a second here while we wait for Rockwell to catch up here. Alright, so now I'm hooked up to this processor right here. There's code in it, which is this code that I downloaded into it, and then I made it an online edit, so it changed it. And I saved it out as something else, so I know that this isn't going to compare right, just to demonstrate. So what I'm going to do is I want to say, yeah, I want to connect to that processor, whatever image is on there. This is the one that I wouldn't have the code for. That's what I want to be hooked into. And hit OK. Let Rockwell read, write, and generate. And once it's done thinking, it'll throw this in here, something similar. It won't look the same. It'll be whatever your COM path is. Once this is all set up, you have your base file of the file you think is the same. You have the processor's image of the file that you don't have. You hit OK. This will give you a little bit more to choose. I always select everything, but I only show the differences, and I hit OK. Now I'm not really going to concern myself too much in this demo with the first few things up here because that's a little bit more explanation behind it. We're just going to go ahead and go right down to it. You see the routine files, ladder 2 is the only one that's different. So if you open that up, and let's arrange this so we can see this here. I'll let Rockwell catch up to me again. Bear with me. Come on now. Alright. You can see here's a difference. This D shows up. It's a rung that appears in this code, but it doesn't appear in the base code that I have, the actual file I have with all the different comments in it. This file from the processor has an extra line here, an extra rung. So we'll continue on, and that appears to be all that's different. So with that said, the machines are doing the same thing, and I'm pretty sure that the code is running the same way. All the outputs are wired the same, all the inputs are wired to the same type of sensors. Then the data files I'm not terribly too concerned about. What I'll show you now is how to get these comments into this code. So let's go ahead and close that compare down. And now we'll get back into RSLogix. What you want to do is you want to go to comms, be connected to the processor that you do not have the code for, and hit upload. When this window pops up, what you want to do is hit browse. And now what you're going to do is you're going to browse to the folder, the directory, that contains the file with the tags, the good code that you have on hand, and hit OK. You'll see it's going to pop up in the box down here, a file. Is that the file you want? You select it, it'll put it up in here. Now this is the key. Don't hit create new file because you won't have any tags. You want to upload use file. That will take this file and upload all the data into it. So now let's let Alan Bradley do its thing. It's going to look at the processor's image, take back its data table, its structure, routines, and it's going to mash them. So let's go ahead and let's go online and let's see what are we looking with here. So you can see in the code that I had offline with all my tags on it, this was a spare. This is the code, this is the part of the code that was different. You can see it just inserted spare and spare because in our instance we always type spare on anything we're not using. That way when it appears in the code I can just search for spare at the end and it'll come back. So that's different, but now you can see I have all of these. They all have their names. Everything has a name, all the comms. What you want to do now is save as, and now what you're going to do is save out as something different. Let Alan Bradley do its thing and save this file out. The one thing that's going to happen here, any of the stuff that's been changed or that's different still won't have a tag name. Everything else will have its tag name, but this line here that was the online edit that I did to change the program, this won't have a comment, so you will have to troubleshoot anything that's different. However, everything that's the same will have its comments put into place. I hope that helped you out.